Sandra and John. So as you can see behind me, the FBI are currently at the office of State Senator Louise Lucas. We're told, according to sources, that this is a search that involves as many as 10 properties across the state, including the cannabis shop, which is just in the parking lot behind me.
Are you still going to push a vote to expel Ilhan Omar?
Well, we're talking about it. We're waiting to get the data on the brother marriage.
Who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial
day. Now imagine sitting down with your team and coming up with a day-to-day calendar, realizing you have thousands of evil Democrats and rhinos to deal with. Well, how about D-Class and deliver the arrest packages daily? Just makes it more exciting. The beekeeper scene is playing out in real time. The folks across the USA are watching this all play out. Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia, Minnesota, California, and so many other places on this planet. I tell you what, folks, hold on tight. We're about to lift off. We're at 510,000 followers on Rumble. Thank you for hitting that follow button, folks. We're hoping someday to reach that million mark. It'd be really nice. And thank you also for hitting that like button. You're helping us. Again, stay at the top of the leaderboard, or number 3 with the video. Yesterday, we really appreciate that support. And also, we had 1 million views on one of our drops on X And We Know on X. And we really appreciate that. We've got our 250-year celebration merch out. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but we've got some photos of Patriots wearing our gear. And don't forget our 15% off site-wide for shop.nweknow.com. Use code MOM. I wanted to start, speaking of moms, with this message to military moms from President Trump.
The women in this room have sacrificed for our country in countless ways. Among you are veterans and active duty service members, proud spouses, and the parents of those who serve in uniform. Amazing people, the most amazing people. Many of you have missed cherished moments, and you really have. You've spent so much time taking care of the ones you love. You've missed holidays, birthday parties, graduations, or even a child's first words. Others have moved more times than anybody can even count. And I don't know if you love doing it or not, but you get very good at it. You have the way, you know the way to do it. But you do it all because you love America, you love our country. And this week, as we prepare to celebrate Mother's Day, we take this opportunity on behalf of all of us to say thank you very much for the incredible job. You do it with love, so it's not, I don't think, there's no such thing as a job if you love it, but we'll call it a job nevertheless. The job you do is incredible, and everybody respects you so much. You have no idea. So I just want to thank you all, and thank you all for being here.
And make mothers great again would be nice. Nice slogan to go throughout the entire United States of America. A big happy Mother's Day is coming up this week, and I'm glad that they're highlighting this for all to see at the White House. And, you know, especially with the military moms being a part of the military, my mom being married to military, right, to the Marines, to the Marine, and all the deployments where he had to leave constantly to go overseas for a year at a time and leave us was a big thing to actually be a part of. Very difficult at many times. And then when I joined the Marine Corps, and my wife and I having to move every 2 to 3 years from one place to another overseas, back to the United States, back overseas. And then while doing that, you get orders to deploy to different exercises or operations around the earth. And I tell you, after a while, it does take its toll. And it's just great to have them recognized for all to see, the military moms. Thank you so much for all of you out there. FBI Director Kash Patel put this out. FBI and Justice Department identified and located 200 plus innocent kids and arrested more than 350 child predators in a month-long Operation Iron Pursuit. Now, you know, the FBI is pretty interesting. I had a lot of folks I know in the Marine Corps that went to the FBI. A lot of military guys head that direction, and they're doing their job, and they continue after their efforts serving our country in that way. Now they're serving at the FBI, and so just appreciate a real FBI doing the job that we've been hoping they would do, is actually taking down the predators, and these 350 plus, the most takedowns ever taken over the last year in any violent crimes against children under President Trump's administration. more than restore justice, enduring justice, and relentless justice last year. All big successes as well to protect our children. Instead of going into the homes of people, sending in FBI agents to J6 to try to thwart the election, all playing acting roles for J6, and then they take those same folks and others to go out into the homes at 2 a.m. and raid people's families who actually walked into the Capitol and didn't do anything wrong. That's how they used the FBI before. So it's great to see them get cleaned up and used in this way. Also, dealing with the military, even more so, Secretary Pete Hegseth has just added another year for American troops to return to military service who were wrongly terminated due to COVID-19 tyranny. That's right. Our heroes deserve it. We are extending the department's reinstatement and return to service guidance by an additional year, he said, allowing our warriors of conscience to return through April 1st, 2027. We will continue correcting the wrongs of the Biden administration. So important for all of these things to do. And that these guys are doing at the War Department. I tell you what, this COVID-19 tyranny is one thing. The job numbers that Democrats lie about was another.
So we had to cut the jobs because we were way bloated with federal jobs. And, I could, with one swipe of the pen, I could say, let's have no employment, and I'll hire 1 million people or 2 million people. I say, we just hired 1 million people, and we have absolutely no employment. And that's what they would do. They'd have bad numbers coming up, so they'd hire a couple of 100,000 people, and the numbers would look okay. With me, it's the exact opposite. We terminate a lot of federal jobs that are unnecessary, and they don't like me for doing it, but a year later, they like me because they end up having a much better job, oftentimes in a place where they'd much rather live. They go to the place that they want to go. They're not stuck in Washington or someplace else, and they do much better. And in the end, I've had a lot of people come up, they say, I was so angry at you, but now I'm making sometimes 2 or 3 times the money in a job that I really like. So you got to do what you have to do. You have to, politically, I don't know, it's good, bad, or indifferent. I think it's probably bad, maybe politically, but in the meantime, I'm in the White House, so maybe it's good.
Always good to have the truth come out. He does it properly in front of the media and in front of others so that they understand. There's probably a lot of folks in that audience that don't really pay attention to all that's going on in the daily news. They're busy. They've got their lives about them that they're going about. And there could be a bunch of liberals that are sitting there too, who knows, that said, I guess I'll go and sit and listen to the president that they don't care about. And he's pointing out information maybe that they've heard for the first time. It's very important to get the word out as many times as possible. 10 years ago on this day, Dan Scavino Jr. posted this video clip, and he said, let's make this a reality. America, let's make America great again.
January the 20th, 2017, Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. The swearing in of the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is a day many believed they would never see, and after which the USA may never be the same.
We're going to make America great again.
How many want to see him in for another 8 or 9 years like he told us? And some folks laugh at that. I don't think he's joking around when he says, how would you like me to be in for another term? And when he says, I'll be here for another 8 or 9 years, do you think he's joking around? I don't think he likes to joke like that because a lot of us will get excited. We don't worship this man. We don't, bow down to him. But we will say, I tell you what, that things have gotten so much better under him. If you don't watch the media and you're paying attention to channels like this and others that are out there saying, hold the line and watch what's happening and see the amazing things that are playing out day by day, you would agree. You would agree. A lot of things are accomplished with him in office. Now, this drop from Dan Scavino happened at 21:15. That's military time. And the question was asked from Anon back then, can we at least have the D-class, please, good sir? Q answered, specific timing rests with the president. Hence, expend ammunition. Don't want to give out any hints. Think New York Times Anon article. For an example, the world is watching. And I tell you what, they're watching in Virginia too. I'm going to show you what's going on there and many other states. Arrests are happening. Stick around. Well, every time a missile goes off or a bomb explodes, microplastic particles are released into the upper atmosphere and spread throughout the earth, making their way into the air we breathe and the food we eat. Because they're so small, they get absorbed into the bloodstream and our organs, where they build up over time, triggering inflammation and increasing the risk of heart disease, cancer, and even Alzheimer's. But there's something incredible. New research now showing that certain probiotics found only in kimchi can bind these microplastics and help remove them from the body. The results showed that people taking the kimchi-derived probiotic were clearing out nearly twice as many microplastics. And it doesn't stop there. Another study found that a specific strain in kimchi, Bacillus pumilus, can break down BPA, one of the most toxic chemicals in plastic. What that means is your body actually has the ability to get rid of toxins, but only when your gut is balanced and functioning the way it's supposed to. But here's the challenge. Most people aren't eating kimchi consistently enough to get these benefits. That's why Brightcore created Kimchi One with over 900 plus strains of beneficial bacteria that deliver all the benefits of real kimchi in convenient capsules, no taste, no smell, non-GMO, and 100% made in the USA. Today, you can try Kimchi One by clicking the link below for 25% off your entire order, or for the best deal available, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off plus free shipping. Call now, 888-317-9941. That's 888-317-9941. Well. Guess who was the main player behind Virginia's new unconstitutional map? Why, Virginia Senate President pro tempore Louise Lucas, of course. Oops.
Sandra and John, so as you can see behind me, the FBI are currently at the office of State Senator Louise Lucas. We're told, according to sources, that this is a search that involves as many as 10 properties across the state, including the cannabis shop, which is just in the parking lot behind me.
This is the FBI. We have a warrant. Put out with your hands up. Nothing in your hands.
SWAT teams in full force told people to come out of that shop with their hands up, arresting at least 3 people today. Sources say this is potentially connected to a corruption probe. And Senator Louise Lucas is the president pro tempore of the Virginia Senate. That makes her one of the most powerful figures in the legislature. I asked her about these raids. This is what she had to say.
I don't know what's going on. I just came from another report. So I'm just going to wait until they tell me.
Workers at this office behind me were told to leave the building while the FBI came and left, bringing big boxes in and out of the building over the last several hours. We did see one person who was outside with his head in his hands crying. We do still see a large presence of FBI, not only here at the office behind me, but also at this cannabis shop amid this ongoing probe.
Crying. Never thought you'd get caught. You're promised all types of things from Satan himself. And boy, those promises, all those lies from the father of lies are catching up to him. Never forget when this Louise Lucas posted in 2023, Donald Trump just learned no one is above the law. Oh boy. Who else said that? Oh yeah, there was Joe Biden that said that. Whoever was running that account at the time, no one is above the law. Mark Hamill, no one is above the law. Remember these folks? Governor Pritzker and Gomez and Amy Klobuchar and Chuck Schumer, Tish James. No one's above the law. Oh, how things catch up. And so let's see. Was there anything to say?
Today we are leveling the playing field. These are not ordinary times, and Virginia will not sit on the sidelines while it happens. We made a promise to level the playing field, and today we're keeping our promise. Our maps are ready. Virginia is ready. We said 10-1, and we meant it. And we are proud to deliver a map that stands up for democracy, to stand up for Virginians, to stand up and give us a voice. He started this mess, and Virginia is going to finish it.
So months ago, Virginia Democrat Lucas bragged about stripping millions of Virginians of their voting power. Now she's under FBI investigation. Redistricting Virginia has failed, and multiple GOP states are eliminating Democrat districts. Oh, so good. Let's head on down the road to Georgia. Georgia. Whew. Here we go. The Department of Justice issued grand jury subpoenas demanding the identities of all individuals involved in the 2020 election in Fulton County, Georgia. April 17th, 2026, grand jury subpoenaed the Fulton County Board of Registrations and Elections to appear in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Georgia on May 6, 2026. The subpoena seeks documents and electronic records related to staff who worked the November 2020 election, including their names, their roles, home and email addresses, and personal phone numbers. Individuals assigned to review mail-in ballots. Those that assigned to the voter review panel and board. Those assigned to the mobile voting locations. Assigned to transfer results to and from media or transport ballots, ballot stock, or media. Those that were contracted by the Fulton Board of Registrations and Elections. Those who worked or volunteered for the risk limiting audit or for the recount, or the precinct managers and assistant managers, including every single co-conspirator who participated in a conspiracy to overthrow the United States government. Do you guys remember this? Let's just play it again for a reminder of what they did when they were caught on camera, bringing all the hidden ballots out so they could bring them in and steal the election.
Was placed there by the lady with the blonde braids at about 8:22 a.m. in the morning. So she put that table there. So the same person who's staying behind now, the same person who cleared the place out under the pretense that we're going to stop counting, is the person who put the table there at 8:22 in the morning. Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Yep, and there they are.
Yeah, upper right hand, you see the gentleman in the red.
All up
so
here.
He just pulled one out.
Yep. Oh, God.
So what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses? Is the question. So these machines can process about 3,000 ballots an hour. You have multiple machines there, and they're there for 2 hours. So you do the math. How many ballots went through those machines in those 2 hours when there was no one there to supervise, to be present, consistent with your statutes and rules?
Yep. And so then the devil brought them down to D.C., from Georgia, because they were in panic mode. They're like, oh, no, they've got me on video. I'm caught. And they're like, don't worry. We got you covered. We're going to bring you up there and show you, to the world how amazing you are so that you realize that nothing's ever going to happen to you. We've got the power. We're going to continue to steal elections. We're going to make sure that President Trump doesn't come back again for another term. You don't worry. We got you. Kamala's going to step in and take care of you. Here's one they brought up front.
Hey, Moss.
Oh, Moss. Hold the hands of the president. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you for stealing the election.
Stories her mother told her about the movement for voting rights in America, Shay Moss pursued a career as an election worker in Fulton County, Georgia.
Oh, boy.
Because of her dedicated service, she faced death threats, harassment, and intimidation by those seeking to overturn the outcome of the 2020 election.
Death threats. See? They were telling her, tell them that folks, the Republican conservative side, that tell the world that they were threatening you. I don't think that's how most of us operate. I could be wrong. Could be a pretty couple of people out there who might have been bad, but I would say that usually happens from their side. They're the ones that do the death threats, normally to the conservatives and the Christians and more. And they continue to lie. Now, the one that's really thinking she's out of trouble, well, she's probably shaking now.
Lady Ruby Freeman, as a Fulton County election worker, as a sacred mission to ensure the people of Georgia could exercise their fundamental right to vote freely and fairly.
Oh, you helped them exercise their fundamental right. And then you got the ballots from under the table and you helped us reproduce those over and over again. And then this actor with the mask on, or the robot, whatever he is rubbing his nose, realizing, yeah, it's probably not good. Yeah, I hope that we really win next time because this isn't looking good. Oh, she's taking deep breaths. Oh, this is so good. I'm so grateful I'm getting an award because now I don't have to worry about ever going to prison. I don't have to worry about going to Gitmo for treason. Ah, breath of fresh air. Let's see that breath.
And threatened her and her family. And today, we the people honor Lady Ruby Freeman.
There's that breath. Ruby Freeman. Well, federal judge that just ruled the feds can keep the 2020 ballots seized from Fulton County's election warehouse. Fulton County sued to get them back. The judge said no. Evidence stays in federal hands. And people that are out there telling you nothing's happening. You guys are crazy. You cute people are ridiculous. Trust the plan. What are you talking about? There's no way. If you're listening to podcasters that say Trump is bad and he belongs to this group and that group and they're putting him down continuously after they got you roped in to start following them and get them millions of viewers, well, guess what? They're going to continue to sow seeds of doubt, but it's not really going to work well for them. You know, we're going to get into Ilhan Omar in Minnesota. Huge things going on there. Boy, they're in big trouble.
Are you still going to push a vote to expel Ilhan Omar?
Well, we're talking about it. We're waiting to get the data on the brother marriage thing, which I think is coming. And I think once it's revealed and the
brother marriage thing, that's where we are.
Your brother, I think we'll be able to.
That's where we are as a country right now. We've got a member of Congress born in Somalia, in Mogadishu, who may have married her brother to get him into the country. If it turns out that that is actually the reality, will there be a vote on the floor to expel this woman from Congress?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I don't know who this Finnerty guy is. Maybe some of you watch him. I don't. So when I hear him state let's see, how did he state it again? I got to play it again. I forgot.
Yeah, we've got a member of Congress born in Somalia, in Mogadishu, who may have married her brother.
To
get him into the country. If it turns out that that is actually the reality, will there be...
If it turns out that's the reality. So basically, what I don't like about that comment is President Trump said it multiple times. Congressmen have said this multiple times, and now you're sowing seeds of doubt into the people that are listening that it may have been done if it turns out it's true. Well, it is true. So I don't like that one bit. But I do like what these guys are saying, that, yep, they're going to have her removed. I got some stuff from President Trump on Governor Walz and Omar here in a moment. And some really great decodes. And you don't want to forget a video I forgot to play yesterday out of Los Angeles. I'm going to play this one for the mayor race. And you do not want to miss it. Hopefully I won't forget it today. I've got a couple of those to show you. When credible doctors start paying attention to repurposed medications, it's worth asking why. Dr. Harvey Risch, former professor at Yale and now serving on the president's cancer panel, is helping lead that conversation. A new groundbreaking observational study from the wellness company analyzed the off-label use of ivermectin and mebendazole in nearly 200 cancer patients treated by licensed doctors across cancers like breast, prostate, lung, and colon. And the results are hard to ignore. After 6 months, 84% of the patients experienced clinical benefit, including stable disease, tumor regression, or no evidence of disease. This is not lab data. This is real-world patients' experience. Dr. Risch, chief at the wellness company, called it an exciting signal deserving serious scientific investigation and more accessible, lower-cost cancer care option. That's why the wellness company makes it easy to access the ivermectin and mebendazole formula using medications that are FDA approved for other indications and are being studied for additional use. It is doctor-prescribed and USA compounded, designed to support patients exploring these emerging approaches under medical guidance. Ordering is simple and fully digital. Just fill out a quick form. A licensed doctor reviews it, and your prescription ships directly to your doctor. Head to TWC .health/LT and use code LT to save $60 off plus free shipping. USA residents only.
And what they've done is so sad. When you look at the Minnesota scam, a lot of it has to do with Somalia. Nobody's calling out anybody, but a lot of it has to do, but it's Somalia and plenty of others. And I believe the governor is complicit. I believe Ilhan Omar is complicit. I believe that your attorney general is complicit. And if they are, you're going to hopefully find out about it, and you're going to have to do what you have to do. If we found half of the fraud that's taking place in this country, and I think you have a chance of doing that, we would have much more than a balanced budget. That's the kind of numbers you're talking about. The theft is incredible. And I think JD will make, and Andrew will make a charge later on that local states should handle nursing homes and all of these things that the federal government shouldn't be involved in. It's too big. The federal government should handle military and a couple of other things. But when it comes to nursing homes, you saw where a young gentleman was going around and knocking on doors, and none of the nursing homes existed, none of the nurseries existed. The money that's being paid out, and the federal government pays for it. When you see all these people coming in illegally into our country, many criminals, many drug dealers, murderers, 11,888 murders, and you look at California, and more come in, and yet they never had money, and yet they pay them. You know why they pay them? Because the federal government is charged with paying. We're not paying them anymore, and I said that. So these two...
How about that? 1,100, 888. You know, I looked over at number 11 real quick on the QAGG.news site. You know, I always get interested when he throws numbers out, so I just want to look at this. Key: military intelligence versus FBI, CIA, NSA. No approval or congressional oversight. State secrets upheld under Supreme Court. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Under what article can the president impose military intelligence takeover investigations for the three-letter agencies? What conditions must present itself? Why is this so very important? Who surrounds the president? Wow. Kind of matches a lot that's going on with these investigations into Minnesota, doesn't it? And, you know, another weird things is that 888, he brings up 11,888. 888 says, thank you, Kim. Deal made, clowns out, strings cut, we took control. The clowns out, we took control. Here's Stephen Miller.
Minnesotan who works as a lineman or works as a construction worker, works in any job that requires hard work, dedication, focus, who's worried about his ability to support for and provide his family. And then imagine that he has a neighbor who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial stress and no worries at all in the entire world and never seems to ever go to work at all because he just went to an office in the state, lied on a piece of paper, and got unlimited free money forever for life. That is the system that is being run, and that is the corruption that this task force, under the leadership of the vice president, is going to demolish. And I'll just...
Under the leadership of Vice President J.D. Vance. Listen to this.
If you look at the amount of fraud in the welfare system, according to the statistics I've seen, 85% of Somalians who are in the United States, legal and illegal, are collecting some form of welfare benefits. So that's not to disparage the other 15%, but when you're at 85% of a population that is collecting welfare, that suggests that we have really done something wrong with regards to vetting, and that's the fundamental issue. Even if there's no fraud, 85% collecting welfare is way too many damn people collecting welfare, getting rich off the American taxpayer while a lot of Americans struggle. That's unacceptable.
That's very good. And so, war correspondent found this clip. A reporter asked that Democrat Rep. Ayanna Pressley about Somali fraud. So her ex-con husband attacks and smacks the phone to the ground.
Do you support... Sir, get my phone out of my head. Sir, Congresswoman Pressley, do you support President Trump investigating Somali child care fraud in Minnesota? Congresswoman Presley, do you support...
This is what happens when you ask Democrats about fraud. They're all in on it, and they personally benefit from it. You can't imagine the amount of panic, folks, that's happening in their lives. They act cool, calm, and collective. They all come together. They sing their little fake satanic kumbaya songs that they put together for Satan. And then when Satan didn't come back with the goods for them the way that they wanted it, and they realize, oh, shoot, I'm about to get taken down, they go into panic mode, and they get angry, and they start becoming violent. Other folks that are out there causing all types of problems. Well, let's go over to this one here. Check out what she says.
Only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba. In fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed. And one tanker has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there.
For those listening, I forgot to mention, this is Representative Pramila Jayapal. Remember the Democrat? She admits on tape, what you just heard, she's conspiring against the United States to bring oil tankers into Cuba. That's a federal felony. Federal felony. The Logan Act there too. Any citizen of the United States, whether he may be who, without authority of the United States, influence the measures or conduct of any foreign government, defeat the measures of the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. Yeah. Now I want to head over to Los Angeles mayor's race. You know, it's interesting because this mayor race is it's making its way throughout social media big time. I mean, it's a big deal. We know about the Los Angeles fires, how those folks didn't get their homes back, how this evil Bass person that the mayor took off and went to another country while they were burning the homes down, and then she was caught with somebody recording her, where basically, in a sense, she knew all about it, how it was going to play out. And we just know how evil and corrupt they are. So this guy right here, Spencer Pratt, has a team putting AI videos together for their ads. And I wanted you to hear, for those listening and watching, man, watching's even better, this ad.
Please, I'm begging you. There's homeless drug addicts in front of the schools. My children aren't safe.
Look, if you were, I could get you a...
Let's move the drug addicts closer.
Bass already solved crime. I endorse her.
Next!
Please, I just want to rebuild my home. It's been over a year.
Here comes Spencer Pratt. He's taking out the trash. And all these, he's dressed as Batman for all to see.
This is a machine.
There's Karen Bass.
We want to burn this town to the ground.
She looks like the Joker.
I feel so cool.
Now all the people, there's the kids, the people throwing their music being played by Marco Rubio as the DJ. And this ad says, LA is worth saving. Yep, that's Pratt there for you. I'm going to play a clip from his, they had the Decision 2026 mayoral race, the debate for LA mayor.
Fire, you lost your neighborhood. How does that really color your view of what needs to happen at this point? And how does that help others moving forward?
Yes, thank you for the question. To the Mayor Karen Bass's, the 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before. And
interesting number, 17 million.
Mayor Karen Bass denied it. So they may have been available, but they didn't have the equipment they needed. Not to mention Janice Quinones, who Mayor Karen Bass put into her position of power at the LADWP. She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters needed to put out these fires. A lot of people talk about climate change and hurricane force winds. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. So without those two reservoirs filled with 117 million gallons and 5 million gallons, these firefighters had to fly all the way to Malibu and Encino to get water. So that to me is the most dangerous thing that the mayor put us up against.
Mr. Pratt, a follow-up here, though. What would you do moving forward that would make this better 2 years from now if we face the same situation?
Ready for the answer? It actually makes sense.
First off, as mayor, I will never drain the reservoirs that we need for wildfire protection. There's this conspiracy now that they're empty, that they were for drinking water. But if you research it, they were actually made for wildfire protection. As mayor, I'm going to add 20 dip sites all around the communities connecting to pools. So God forbid the water system goes down again. These dip sites that will be connected to individuals' pools will fill up for the helicopters to have water.
Mayor Bass, do you have a response to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now here comes Satan's minion, Karen Bass, to jump in with the lies. I'm sure she's probably got an earpiece in or something to help her. You know how it works.
Several things that are completely inaccurate. First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. He is correct. 1 million years ago, it was for wildfires, but over the last 30, 40 years, it's been for drinking water. He
looked at your notes.
Talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly. And so the winds reach close to 100 miles an hour.
How does she know that? She was gone in another country.
And the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had two other reservoirs totaling 8 billion gallons that were available, but could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
I have to interrupt you. No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She called me a liar.
She called him a liar. She said he's not telling the truth. It's the same thing. And then these guys are doing the debates. I don't know who they are. Maybe you guys know them. But this little debate team over here, and she's got to jump in and say, look, you can't be so mean now. You can't be pointing out the truth and calling people names. You can't call her a liar. You can't tell people that. You can say that she's not telling the truth, which is the same thing as a lie, but you can't say that word liar because, you know, we're all politically correct around here. Oh, California. I want to show you another ad that he put together to follow up to the ad with the fires from Karen Bass. Oh, I can't wait to show it to you. And another comment that he made. I know we're spending time in LA, but I think it's important because we need to get more folks like this across our country. We do. So I want to remind you first that we have this amazing gear. It's 15% off site-wide. Use code MOM at shop.mweknow.com or mweknow.com.
Going viral.
I already saw it. The one where he's crying about his house. Give me a break with the sob stories. It's time to move on.
No, ma'am. This is a new ad, and it seems to be more powerful.
What do you mean another ad?
It already has millions of views on X. And ma'am, the production value, it looks like a $100 million film.
Where are they getting that kind of money? I personally shut down a studio in this city.
Ma'am, it was an AI filmmaker.
What do you mean it was an AI filmmaker? Comms. Polling. MIMWG2 SLBBTQQEIA. Stay. Everyone else, out. Everyone in the entertainment industry is supposed to be out of Los Angeles. What even was the point of the fires? Wasn't the Kamala endorsement supposed to seal the deal? This is meant to be an easy win for me.
It moved 0.3 points, ma'am.
The race might be lost. But if you think I am giving up this office, you are sorely mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Those kind of ads. I got to do more AI work. I've done a little bit and put some stuff out for people to see for intros and more. But boy, these take it. Tell you what. So here's Spencer Pratt again calling out the Councilwoman Rahman's failed policies to house drug addicts.
Say Councilwoman Rahman acts like she doesn't have any authority with this homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe. I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Rahman's plan for treatment first, I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say? 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them. They're a team.
3,000 people, $400 million. He had the numbers, he has the proof, and he's sharing that they're a team. I certainly hope that Spencer Pratt has protection because we know how these witches operate. We know that, especially in Los Angeles and Hollywood, if you know what that stands for, Holly being the actual wood that they use for their little magic wands that they cast spells. They have no power over us as we come to the Lord in prayer. And we certainly hope that Spencer Pratt would be a man of prayer also. We will pray for him and his protection and hope that he gets in and does what he promises that he's going to do. Now, rhinos in the Deep South just got the message. Redraw those racial gerrymandered maps or get primaried. After Indiana's shellacking and Florida leading the charge, every rhino in Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Georgia is now on notice. Stop protecting Democrat fake seats with race-based districts. MAGA proved it. Help the left keep their rigged maps, and there will be consequences at the ballot box. Redraw the fair maps for 2026. Now, here's soon-to-be former Indiana State Senator Travis Holdman, one of the deciding Republican votes that blocked redistricting the state, says he only lost because he was retaliated against.
How do you feel?
Well, I have one lesson for people. Revenge and retribution is not a Christian value.
Revenge and retribution. It's not a Christian value.
And that's what this was all about. And I'm not bitter about it. It's just a fact. And there's life after serving in the Indiana Senate, and I'm going to find out what it's like. So.
Isn't that weird how they always go back to, oh, you Christians, you should have never done this. You guys went to the Lord in prayer, and, I'm going to start saying that, it's revenge, and that's not a Christian value. No. You lost because when we tell you how to jump, you should be asking how high. You got caught, and now you're going to play those games. Well, it's good riddance with you. So now I'm going to show you the Indiana Senate Majority Leader, Chris Garton, a fiery speech in favor of the 9-0 map for Indiana.
Some will say these maps are political. Let me be clear. Political policy is political. Safe streets are political. Look at Indianapolis. Affordable electricity is political. A drug-free Indiana is political. Peace in the Middle East is political. I dealt with it firsthand. If drawing a map that secures 2 more seats for the Republican Party means that we continue to see overdose deaths drop by 20%, then I'll draw that map every single day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Come on.
If drawing a map means that we'll continue to see a 93% drop in illegal immigration, then I'll sign it with a smile on my face. We're not here to be neutral arbiters of decline. We're here to be active agents of American greatness. So I ask you.
That's a fighter. That's what we need. We need to get it fired up. We've had enough. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should be screaming and yelling, hooping on him. He's fired up because he's had enough. Trying to save lives. Tired of all of the lies and the mess that the Democrats and the rhinos got us into. I certainly hope that this Chris Garten sticks to his guns and moving forward there. Tennessee delivers massive red wave map for 2026, 9-0. Tennessee released its new congressional map that eliminates the last remaining Democrat seat, the one drawn purely on race. A clean 9 Republican, 0 Democrat sweep. The Supreme Court opined that redistricting, like the judicial system, should be colorblind. Today, Tennessee joins other red and blue states in redrawing their congressional maps. Well, what did they do? They sent their money out. Soros got his money out, and all these other big names that can't stand Trump. They're like, oh, no, we're going to start losing elections. Hey, we're going to pay you. You guys go in there and make a fool of yourself. So the protesters pushed out. They were pushed out of Tennessee committee hearing. Did it work? It didn't work. And they're going to probably get worse and worse unless the strings have been cut completely. They'll head on out, they'll get paid, and they'll continue to play this game throughout the rest of the year. Imagine what the midterms are going to be like, folks. Especially when you get rid of the mail-in ballots. President Trump put this out. I'm going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots. And also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate and sophisticated watermark paper, which is faster and leaves no doubt at the end of the evening as to who won and who lost the election. We are now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting. All others gave it up because of the massive voter fraud encountered. We will begin this effort, which will be strongly opposed by the Democrats because they cheat at levels never seen before, by signing an executive order to help bring honesty to the 26 midterm elections. Oh, yes. Remember, the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. They must do what the federal government, as represented by the President of the United States, tells them for the good of our country to do. With their horrible radical left policies like open borders, men playing in women's sports, transgender and woke for everyone, and so much more, Democrats are virtually unelectable without using this completely disproven mail-in scam. Elections can never be honest with mail-in ballots voting, and everybody, in particular the Democrats, know this. They knows this. But knows this. I and the Republican Party will fight like hell to bring honesty and integrity back to our elections. The mail-in ballot hoax using voting machines that are a complete and total disaster must end now. Remember, without fair and honest elections and strong and powerful borders, you don't have even a semblance of a country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Folks, when I read this, just a quick thought. I could be wrong. Some of you can let me know below this video. But if you're mentioning the watermark paper, and if mail-in ballots are already going out for the midterm elections, if those watermark papers are not the ones being used, can you imagine if they say, folks, you have to use the watermark paper ballots and you have to vote in person, not by mail-in? And then all of a sudden they say, well, we're not going to do it. Not here in California. Well, we're not going to do it here in New York. And then, I don't know, somehow, some way, the president makes a call and says, I need some help. And somehow, some way, maybe the military moves in, or somehow, some way, Every single polling place gets some type of federal government entity to go in and say, we're going to be nice, NICE or something. I don't know. Maybe they use them. Who knows? Maybe the IRS agents that don't have anything to do. Hey, guys, you have to go in and you're going to watch and make sure that they're using the proper watermark paper and they're not using those machines. They better be gone. And then you have your midterm elections, and then you have the media screaming, and you have the Democrats screaming, you got the rhinos screaming. And before you know it, the real votes come in, and America goes into shock. Who has all the cards? Well, remember Justice Cometh put these cards out, and it was reposted by President Trump. He's the one that made these. This is President Trump holding the Uno cards with wild on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wild cards. Just so happens that this Justice Cometh, who's out there putting all types of information out on Q and more, is reposted by President Trump. And what happens? His meme makes it on national television.
In 5 words. Same joke, told 4 ways. Roll it.
Let's examine one night in Donald Trump's Truth Social feed. A warning to Iran that said, I have all the cards, and holding a bunch of Uno cards, which is a game you win by having no cards.
Trump went on a late-night meme posting spree, which included an AI-generated image of himself playing Uno with the caption, I have all the cards. So that confirms it. Trump has no idea how someone wins Uno.
Trump reject.
So, of course, in my opinion, when they are saying this, I don't think they know how to play Uno. Maybe they do. When you have those wild cards, all of those, well, you just keep throwing that bad boy down. And I don't know, I played Uno. You just keep throwing the wild card down. Before you know it, everybody's having to collect and pick up all the cards that he has thrown down for you to pick up. And before you know it, you're the winner. Just how I look at it. See how that all plays out? The best part of this, though, is an anon following Q posts a meme, Justice Cometh posts it and puts out by President Trump, catches it and says, we're going to take that, which therefore what? Validates Justice Cometh. And then his meme ends up on national television and people start looking it up to find out, where is that meme? Where does it come from? And all of a sudden, people start learning more about Q.
And, I love the name Melody because for a long time, they have spell correct and word correct on these crazy machines that we use to put out truths, or they used to be called tweets. And every time I wrote Melania, it would correct to Melody. So I do things, and I work very fast, Blah, 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 and I talk about it, and I say, and Melania is fantastic, and happy Mother's Day, Melania, our great First Lady, Melania, but it would spell correct and word correct to Melody, and sometimes I wouldn't proofread it, and I'd say, and I would get just absolute decimated. These people would decimate. They said he didn't know the name of his wife. He keeps calling her. And I said, what the hell is wrong with this machine? I didn't know about that little feature, but I got that corrected eventually. You know who corrected? The military. I said, come here, you got to correct this. You're killing me.
The military corrected the misspellings using his personal device. Kimberly Hours all over this. Misspellings matter. Remember, we keep talking about that. When he does misspellings, we look to those and we try to figure out what the comma is. So he's confirming his personal phone may have been used for some of the drops with misspellings. See, the military? Remember, misspellings matter on the Q board. 1141 dropped in 2018. Misspellings matter Q. Where we go one, we go all. Sentence formation matters. Learn about these misspellings. Learn how it goes to comms that go around the media. Then you look at this drop in 2018. It says P_purse, which is probably president equals POTUS personal. That was dropped on the Q board. Is that president's personal phone used for these drops? And the military took over and ensures they're put out at the right time. All right, so all the talk about the gas prices going up and this, that, and the other. Don't forget that even the Biden administration said president doesn't control gas prices.
Obviously. So to be really clear, obviously, the president does not control the price of gasoline. No president does. But what we're seeing right now is this global mismatch between supply and demand. Oil production is lagging behind as the rest of the economy roars back to life after the shutdown.
So just in case you guys are wondering, if you see a Democrat blaming Trump for the price of gas, send them this video. So Barack Obama's Ivanpah solar plant is shutting down in 2026. You guys remember that one? The solar plant? $1.6 billion in federal loans, $535 million in grants, $600 million in tax credits, massive investor write-offs, billions of taxpayer dollars burned through, and nothing to show for it but waste. And there are people out there, folks, that collected that money, put it in their pockets, went out and bought trucks and boats and houses and more. The hope is that they'll be caught someday for what they did to all of us. Gold reclaims reserve status. Central banks reverse the 1900s dollar shift, gold, silver, to begin new rallies. That's all coming from Dr. Kirk Elliott from the drop that we put out the other day on Saturday last week. And he had some amazing things to say. I hope you guys go check it out. Remember, you can get out of that fiat system with your IRA and head over to WeKnow.com/gold and talk to him or somebody on his team, and they'll pray with you also. Also needing prayer would be the folks that were damaged and tried to become transgender and realized they've been lied to. This is Faith Grulow, a brave detransitioner, laying it out.
By the time I was 24 and realized what had happened, the WPATH files had come out, and I realized that the doctors who write the guidelines didn't know what they were doing. And everything that had happened to me was wrong and had nothing to do with evidence-based medicine. I was experimented on. I was not told they were experimental. I was told it was medicine and that it would help. And it did none of that. It gave me complications that the doctors ignored or would treat as separate illnesses. It made my already pre-existing mental health worse. And my physical health continued to deteriorate because I had a collapsed lung and a large intestine up in my chest that was still ignored by the same medical system, fast-tracking me for a disorder I did not have. And so when I found out everything that was wrong, I started making appeals. I made claims to the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario. They decided to reject my claim, and they chose not to take any further action because, according to their investigation, the doctors had done nothing wrong.
She was fast-tracked, cut up, and drugged as a child. Now she's physically disabled with recurring hernias, collapsing lung tissues, and a medical system that refuses to take responsibility. You guys know that's $1 billion business. Why they push it so hard? Because of money, and more so even Satan's tricks to ruin our youth and destroy them at a young age. Then when they get older, they've been ruined. Our hope and prayers goes out to her and the detransition, and that God would heal her. And speaking of drugs and all these other things going on under this fearless leadership of the president, the U.S. Department of Justice says they're crushing the drug trade and saving countless American lives. 25 alleged drug dealers and traffickers have been arrested and federally charged in the last 24 hours. These defendants and anyone who helps spread the scourge of drugs in America will face the full force of federal law. And they put out a video clip that we're watching now. The arrests are happening. These folks are going away. The DEA has taken charge, and finally we're seeing results. They try to dump it in the toilet. It didn't work. They're showing you all the drugs that they're catching, and these people are going down. When it comes to our health, listen to what's been put out about our sugar.
They suppressed the data for 16 years. 2 other large studies failed to show an association. Finally, the study trickled out in the medical literature. Nobody noticed it. Those on the low-fat group had higher rates of heart attacks. Why? Maybe because when you avoid fat, You have to pound food with carbohydrates and often ultra-processed carbohydrates stripped of fiber and chopped up. It functions like sugar. We created a generation of children with low protein, high carbohydrates, sugar addiction, and burdened with ultra-processed foods. And what did we do as a medical field? Drugged them at scale. Those days are over. We are telling people the truth about food.
About food. You know, 1950 to 2026, there's a video clip that somebody put out to show the difference. Was it better if we compare all this 50 to 2026, or is it an illusion? You're showing folks on the left from 1950 sitting around the table, eating good food all together with their family, cooked in the kitchen and prepped. And then you got those on the right eating processed foods going through the drive-through. And then you see the difference in the way that folks conducted themselves and what they wore, the clothes they wore, how they conducted themselves then, how the young men would actually approach the father to ask his, for help with the daughter so he could take her out on a date. And on the right, it's all the girl looking on social media, trying to find the right guy to talk to. 1950, the smiles, the happiness, talking to each other. In 2026, everybody's on their phone, not communicating with each other, just looking on their phones. In 1950, enjoying the beach together. In 2026, looking on their computers, on their phones, and not even paying attention to all that is around them. And of course, the dancing has changed quite a bit since 1950 to 2026. And now in 50, everybody was together looking at TV, watching the shows. In 2026, everybody's on their devices. So that's also part of our health. Wanted to show you this. 2,700 calories on the left. I'm going to show you in a moment. But the calories on the right, there's a lot of fruit going out there and vegetables. Watermelon, strawberries, dragon fruit, salad. Looks like mango, pineapples, not pineapple, green beans, corn. Trying to get to 2,700 calories. Yep. You've got all types of things, pineapples and more. So that's 2,700 calories on your right that I just listed. And watch what 2,700 calories is today. A bag of potato chips. Look at the difference in what we've been doing to our lives. And also when it comes to our health, RFK Jr.'s son talks about a book on Dr. Fauci.
Pardons, auto pen pardons. Do you think that's something that will hold water? President Trump made that announcement that they're now null and void, so then Fauci can be arrested. Do you think
Fauci can be arrested, she says?
Be arrested.
I think they're going to drag him in front of Congress and he's going to perjure himself, in which case hopefully he'll be arrested.
You could ask him one question on the stand. What would it be?
Well, I think he is such an egomaniac. He'll lie to save his own ego, to try to, go down as the guy that people were selling the candles of and stuff like that. I would like to see the emails that, obviously we got a trove of leaked emails from him. Part of those emails said, if you have anything really crazy to send, send it to my personal email. I would like to see what's on those emails. If I had to ask him one question, I would say, why do you do gain of function research? Just why?
Right.
Give us, if he really had to answer the truth on that and say bioweapons out loud, that would be a violation of the Geneva Convention, and off to a new Nuremberg style trial with you. Off to a new Nuremberg style trial with you and everybody else involved.
Right. So if I actually...
So interesting to see this interview, and Kennedy standing in front of the White House giving his statements on Fauci approving the gain of function. It's not an anon sharing this. This is the son of an HHS Robert Kennedy, right? Secretary Kennedy. So statute of limitations, right? Congress via the Department of Justice has till May 11th to indict Fauci for lying to Congress for the all this stuff that actually will run out. Yet if Congress, the DOJ, misses that deadline, remember Fauci lied to Congress about using gain of function. That's a violation of the law of war, and there is no statute of limitations for crimes against humanity. So just remember that. All that we're going through, we have a president that continues to talk to all of us using Scripture, and we're going to end with this.
It's really something very special that I hear he's just doing fantastic. It was a Bible verse from the book of Isaiah. Do not fear, for I am with you. With God's help, Andrew has made a really incredible recovery. It's hard to believe. And during my State of the Union address, we were privileged to award him the Purple Heart. This was a real Purple Heart. This was a terrible thing that happened. And Melody, where are you, Melody? There you are. Hi. Haven't seen you in a little while, but it's true, the story, right? You were the only one. You know that you were the only one. She was so positive, I don't think she hurt anybody else. And your husband's doing okay, and he feels much better about it. He was not feeling too good. I think you should. Do you want to say something about your boy and how? Come on up here, Melody. We went through a couple of bad nights together, right?
Yes. I first want to say that we had the nation behind us at a time when nobody thought our boy would make it. He was 24 years old. He was a young man on the streets of D.C. A shot to the left part of his brain. We have a strong faith in God, and God is what brought our son through this. He gave us an amazing backing. He gave us amazing doctors. He gave us amazing nurses. And our community, our nation, our community, are just all of the support and the support of the White House medical staff. Anything that our son needed was met.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, just to remind you at the beginning of this, Dan Scavino, let's make this a reality, America. Let's make America great again. Remember, everything that's going on, the world is watching. We're certainly in prayer and watching the arrests taking place, documents being unleashed, fear of the Democrats playing out, the rhinos losing left and right, mayor races making the headlines around the world, and so much more. Redistricting finally happening. Very exciting time to be alive, folks. We have to continue to stay in prayer for all these strong folks on the front lines.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we do thank you once again for all that you continue to do through our lives, through the many that are on the front lines, through all of those leaders that you have placed at such a time as this to take out this evil. One day at a time, we're watching this play out enough for us to be able to understand it, talk about it, share it, and then the next day you give us even more. We're grateful that you, through your wisdom, have picked this time for us to be alive, to understand it all, and to watch this nation, this great nation, recover from the sickness and the disease that has taken over for so many decades. We ask that you continue to help those in power and that you've given them to make the right decisions, to be convicted by the Holy Spirit when they're making the wrong ones, to help them to say the right words at the right time. We ask that you continue to have your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and to protect all of us from the enemy who wants to destroy this podcast, others out there telling the truth, destroy our families, and so much more. We certainly hope and pray for that hedge of protection to be placed around all of us while the enemy gets pummeled. We also look forward to every single day spending time with you in your word, reminding us the comfort and peace we have from the Holy Spirit. It's in Jesus' name we pray, Jesus Christ. Amen. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support, your prayers, and so much more. A lot of folks lifting us up, sharing information, hitting that like button, and following this channel. It's been phenomenal to be a part of all this. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.
So as you can see behind me, the FBI are currently at the office of State Senator Louise Lucas. We're told, according to sources, that this is a search that involves as many as 10 properties across the state, including the cannabis shop, which is just in the parking lot behind me.
Are you still going to push a vote to expel Ilhan Omar?
Well, we're talking about it. We're waiting to get the data on the brother marriage.
Who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial stress and no worries at all in the entire world and never seems to ever go to work at all because he just went to an office in the